Good evening everyone. Today we will study about Java programming. In Java we will be learning about remote method invocation, that is RMI. So remote method invocation, RMI allows a Java program on one computer to call methods of an object located on another computer as if the object is local, that is client server. The client requesting and the server is servicing the request. RMI is used to build distributed applications. It provides remote communication between Java programs and it is provided in the package JAVA2rmi. Now we will see how the RMI works. Now server creates an object. Server registers the object in the RMI registry. Client looks up the object in the RMI registry and the client calls methods on the remote object. RMI internally handles sending the request and returning the result. This is how the RMI works. RMI works and its key component. So how the RMI works with its key component. So remote interface, server, client, RMI registry, these are the main components there. Remote interface, this defines a method that can be invoked remotely. Both the client and server must agree on this interface. Server application creates and registers remote objects that implement the remote interface, and these objects are made available for clients to access, and that will be in the RMI registry. And the client application obtains a reference to a remote object on the server and then invokes its method as if it were a local object. RMI registry, a naming service that stores the references to remote objects. Client uses RMI registry to look up and obtain the references to desired remote objects. So all created objects are saved in the RMI registry and the client use a lookup and obtain the references for the remote objects. Another component, that is stub and the skeleton. So stub is a client side and skeleton is a server side. A stub is a small helper object on the client side. It looks like a real object, but it just forwards method calls to the server. It sends a request to the server and receives a result. That is the duty of the stub. Now skeleton on the server side. A skeleton is a server side helper and it receives a request from the stub and calls actual object method and sends the result back to the client. So these are the main components. One is remote interface, server, client, RMI registry, stub and the skeleton. Now RMI packages. So there are three packages that we use in RMI programming. That is Java.rmi and Java.rmi.server and Java.rmi.registry. So this first one RMI, this package provides the basic features for the remote communication and it contains remote interface, remote exception and naming class. Helps the client, basically the main idea is it helps the client and server talk each other. Next is RMI.server. This package contains classes used on the server side. It includes unicast remote object used to create remote objects. It helps the server create remote objects and that clients can call. Java.rmi registry, that is this package is used to work with the RMI registry and it has a registry and locate registry classes. It helps store remote objects in the registry and allows clients to find them. So these are the packages Java.rmi, Java.rmi.server and Java.rmi.registry. Now these RMI packages and their classes. Some classes, then interfaces we will talk about. First package is Java.rmi package. This package contains a basic interfaces and classes needed for remote communication. One is remote, that is an interface. Next is remote exception. The next is the naming class. So remote marks a method so that it can be called from another computer, and the remote exception handles error in remote communication. The naming helps register and find the remote objects in RMI registry. Next we have RMI.server package. This package provides server-side support to create remote objects. Unicast remote object makes an object remote and remote object base class for all the remote objects, and remote server provides server support functions for remote objects. next one is RMI.registry package. This package deals with the RMI registry, which stores remote object using names. There is registry, it is an interface, and locate registry is a class. The registry represents the RMI registry, and the locate registry used to create or connect to an RMI registry. Now, what is marshalling and unmarshalling? Marshalling means converting data or an object into a form that can be sent over the internet. It packs the object into a byte stream, that is, prepare data to send from one computer to another. Unmarshalling means converting the received byte stream back into its original object. It unpacks the object after it receives on the other side. Rebuild data after receiving it from the network. When the client calls a remote method, marshalling, the method parameters are converted into bytes and sent to the server. Unmarshalling, the server converts a byte back into the original parameters and gives them. Then the results goes back the same way. That is, server marshals the result, sends, then client unmarshals and send the answer. And we get the answer. This is called marshalling and unmarshalling. And this is all about RMI. Thank you.